going to talk about using the Balanced Scorecard to create strategic priorities, strategic initiatives, and KPIs. So we talked about how to use the strategic planning map before this, and this is a different way to create strategic priorities that align with what you're trying to do in your business. So this methodology is called the Balanced Scorecard. And the reasoning behind it is, yes, you track financial progress, and you do more than just create money in your business. You do things for customers. You learn and grow and build your people. And you have to improve the actual machine that is your business in order to serve more customers, make more money, and grow your people. So, at the center of all of this is the vision of your organization and the strategy. And then around it are the financial objectives, your customer objectives, what you're going to do as an internal business, and then how do you support your people in the process to help them grow and at the end of the day, improve your bottom line. But they operate in an ecosystem. So you won't just create financial initiatives, but you will do things to build your business. And so using a balanced scorecard is a way to measure and track those things. So as you see here, there's 4 different areas. There are objectives. So those are the actual initiatives that you want to track. Again, the strategic priorities as we have them laid out in the strategic planning process. Measures, so that's that moving from X to Y by date. How are you going to track your success? How will you know if you are successful? And so the measures are actually just the measurement, whereas the targets are the X to Y by date. And then initiatives, those are the tactics, the individual things that you're going to do to move the needle on your progress. So for each of these areas, you don't necessarily have to pick all of these areas, but it's important to understand that you may have some that are financial, some that are related to customer, some that are internal business processes, and some that are learning and growth internally, and they all combine to build on the financial. So you have the objectives, what you're actually going to do, the measure, which is the KPI attached to it, the targets, which is what you're aiming at, and then the initiatives, the individual tasks that you're trying to achieve. So if we look at this, how to use it, so if we increase our organizational capacity, then it will improve our processes, it will help our customers, and it will help our finances. On the other side, you can say, well, if we, what finances do we need to increase our organizational capacity? Or how does improving our customer support our organizational capacity? How can we help our customers through this process? And how can we improve our business's process through this organizational capacity growth, and so on? Same thing. If we make a better process, how will that help our customer? If we make a better process, how will that help our finances? They're all interconnected, and that's why they come from here. But financials at the top, the business processes and the customers typically lead into financial, and then the learning and growth all starts with your people, and the people are what contribute to your customers and your processes, which ultimately lead to finances. So there is a distinction or a lead in to these two, and they all lead up to the finances. Again, creating the objectives, the measures, the targets, and the initiatives. So here's a template that you could use. Again, this is just a simple Excel document, but it does the trick. If you're using some sort of other software, a dashboarding software, project management software, strategic planning software, do whatever makes sense for your organization. You might look at my Excel document and say, wow, we have way more sophisticated systems. But it varies. If you're a small nonprofit or an SME and you're doing, working on a 50-person company, then this will do it for you. If you are a 1,000-person, 2,000-person company, then you definitely need something more sophisticated. But the principle is to get you to understand how the Balanced Scorecard works. So you have your priorities that you install here. You have the measures. How are you actually going to measure it? Your targets. What are you aiming at? The supporting initiatives, so the individual tasks that you're going to take, and then you can measure it by quarter and then by annual, and then you can basically use this to do a stoplight analysis to say, okay, based on where we're trying to go at the end of the year, are we close? Are we on track? So green. Are we off track and we need to make adjustments to our initiatives? Then yellow, and then if we're way off base and really need to make an adjustment, then red. And then so monitoring that on a regular basis is key to actually achieving them. So as we mentioned before, what gets measured gets managed. So if you're having trouble basically trying to figure out what to include as part of your strategic initiatives, then do check out the strategic objectives and KPIs sheet attached to this. And it'll give you an idea of some of the things that you can pick. So entering a new market, and some of these might go under different categories, but create and launch a new product, increase customer conversion, become a market leader, gain market position, explore new customer segments, increase revenues, attract investment, get a higher return on assets, diversify our revenue streams, maybe improving internal communications, building on momentum for whatever plans you're doing. Implement performance review and reward system that might affect your finances. Build culture and align across organization, that'll affect your organization. Open up new locations. Create and implement training program. Decrease employee turnover. Improve employee satisfaction, and so on and so forth. These are just all examples of strategic objectives that you could pick for your organization. But what's most important is you pick something that is key for what you're doing. Improve customer satisfaction, increase Net Promoter Score, add strategic partnerships. Again, so many different examples. They're almost endless. We have 50 here, and there are certainly more than that. Decrease defects, lower production costs, restructure organization, implement software project, so on and so forth. And then, again, just at the bottom here, we said, how do we measure the progress? So just for sales, as we have here, you can either be measuring increasing revenue per transaction, total revenue per customer, increased frequency of transactions, or so that's 3 examples for one metric. So whatever makes the most sense for you, that's what you need to include and track. And then again, moving it from X to Y by date. So setting that target, setting where you're trying to go, and then figuring out how you're going to move the needle on it. What are the things you need to do to get there? So I hope that gives you a better understanding of how to create strategic objectives, how to use key performance indicators and metrics to track your performance, and whatever strategic objective you choose for your organization, ensure that you have a measure for it, that you have a target, and that you've outlined the initiatives that move towards it, and that they align with your vision, your mission, and your overall strategic objectives. So I hope that helps, and I look forward to sharing with you very soon. Take care.